Hey people, Indrid here, 3v3, Fend Unlock. It's a Chaos Invasion, they just can't help themselves. On the blue team, Orconero's got a Daemonhunter, a Spellcaster, a strong support and control begins with a ranged weapon alongside. The King of Pythons rocking a Lord General fighting in ranged combat begins with a retinue of Stormtroopers, very strong defense and support can also add to the retinue. Talon Desert Raiders elite scheme here. And rounding off the blue team, he just showed up for a fight, is EM7's Warboss, a melee hero walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. For the Red Chaos fellas, double plague champion, SchmusCriminal here with the Death Guard elite scheme. And Triumph also rocking the Death Guard elite scheme. These guys start off with a damage of a time bolt gun. They can get melee weapons, debilitate enemies and support allies, can also repair your stuff. Sentinel just breaking all the cover in the mid there. And rounded off the teams, AP BuCkLuvy and a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control up against the Orks in the southeast corner of the map early on then. We have double shooters, double heretics for AP BuCkLuvy, and looks like Triumph going double CSM. Nothing up yet for SchmusCriminal, so going into Havocs I would think. Hanging back is the Daemonhunter, kicking off in the mid is it. There's some Nurgle worship, the double CSM alongside the Plague Champion will be a big threat to the Sentinel early on. Strat Squad is here, so Triumph backing off. Sentinel breaking more stuff, of course. There's a little flank from SchmusCriminal. Getting some good damage on the Strat Squad. They will tear stuff apart in melee early on, though. Heretics looking for a fight. There is the Warp Rift, slowing down all of this stuff and forcing the Heretics to retreat. Sentinel was harassing them. Back to the southeast, though. Heretics are fleeing. Maybe there was a good stomp from the Warboss. Now it's just the Chaos Space Marines and the Sorcerer versus Shooter Boys and the Warboss. Sluggers also got away. CSM perilously close to dropping a model here. Warboss still chasing. And EM7 doing a decent job splitting and shooting. Doom bolts going in, but they were behind cover. And there's a War Banner boosting the stats slightly of the surrounding Orks. The CSM did indeed drop a model. Can he get another one? Another hit coming. Crunch, and it did get another model. Good first engagement for EM7 there. Meanwhile, back towards the mid. Grenade launcher heretic, some Nurgle worship. And yeah, looks like King of Python's going to be forced off here with the Sentinel down. There's the remains of it, look. Shot down by the double CSM and the Plague Champion, no doubt. Who runs away. They are going to grab the mid, though. Could be doing a little bit more Nurgle worship to heal these guys up. That's what he should be doing, unless he wants to harass the power a bit. Oh, Daemonhunter showing up to say hello. Got a bolt gun. Around 30 DPS. I think it's 29 DPS. So it will hurt the Heretics quite badly, but he's forced to retreat. And the mid will indeed turn red. Looks like this got decapped, I think, by the Strat Squad from the look of the mini-map that I saw. Havocs are in play, though, by SchmusCriminal into Noise Marines. And speaking of Noise Marines, BuCkLuvy's got some up already. That Sonic Blaster will shake apart structures such as generators and shut down ranged weapons. Also pretty good, just general damage against light infantry and stuff. The Shooter Boys are sure not going to like it. Try and keep them separated from your army, because they do have a cacophony that will knock down stuff, but it also knocks down your stuff. Just making short work of that War Banner. Just shook it to death. Sorcerer with the Sword of Flame. Grenade launchers on one of these fellas. And there's those Chaos Space Marines under infiltrating Tzeentchian worship. Sluggers have their burners. Doom bolts. It's a very, very good Doom bolts. Ouch. Double shooters off the field. I don't think EM7 can stand against this now. There's Coruscating Flame on the Noise Marines, which is a little bit weird if they're going to use Cacophony, but I mean, I guess it worked. They can now move up and bash the power, most likely. Speaking of a power bash, looks like Triumph was having a go at it. Not sure if something was bashed and repurchased, maybe. Grenade launcher barrages going in. Artillery spotters up for Python. That's what that smoke is that you see. Also has some Catachan Devils. They're going to need to do quite a lot of heavy lifting here against the double CSM with Eternal War. They can disrupt them and also threaten them in melee with power melee knives. Looks like they're going into melee here. Getting quite low as they approach, though. Do they have a kick animation? I don't think I've noticed that before. That fella sure looked like he kicked that Chaos Space Marine, which is probably not a good idea. 437 to 432, 1-to-1 cap. Decap the mid then. Artillery spotters chucking stuff about. I'm not sure what that was aimed at. Is that where the... Oh, there's no Havocs. Maybe just a misclick, I'm not sure. Maybe something was there. The Plague Champion of SchmusCriminal comes across to help out. Some Plague Bolter damage. Not sure what the Aspiring Champion Heretic was doing there. He was like standing still, getting hit. He didn't seem to... Does he not have melee animations? He must. 437 to 432. Meanwhile, interceptors on the field for Orconero. Teleporting infantry that deals some good damage early on. 30 DPS per model. Big threat to those Chaos Space Marines, that's for sure. Disrupting teleport. And banishment shot in on those heretics there. From the Tomes of Titan. Can they finish them? The sidearms might be enough. 17 hit points. 9, 8. Made it away. Bunch of reinforcing to do, but heretics are cheap to reinforce. Just 12 wreck. Warboss goes down. Should get revived from there, but this is good pressure from BuCkLuvy. Heretics made it away. Some more cacophony, but now the sluggers can get in there with those burners counting as power weapons in melee. And the 20% health increase is not bad as well. Okay, the Orcs survived the fight. Looks like the power did get hit quite badly though. Back towards the mid. Multi-las turret going up. These guys grabbing the VP and a heavy bolter on the heavy weapon squad here. Plague Champion almost goes down but does get away. And speaking of heavy bolter, SchmusCriminal brings the Havocs to the mid. Army scheme's identical, so I'm going to get confused. Triumph CSM are here. Grenade launcher heretics and noise marines is a really bad place to be if you're a guardsman. Look at all that damage. Heavy weapon squad able to relocate though. King of Pythons keeping his nerve, keeping stuff in play. Looks like he's head off to go and revive that Warboss. Raptors jumping in from Triumph. Double CSM into Raptors is a heavy tier 1. Raptors with 30 DPS melee, suppressing when they land with a cacophony effect. I guess they got some speakers built into their jetpacks or something. 418 to 390 on the VPs. Power bash through the mid. A lot of stuff here to do it. Raptors can run interference on the guardsman, and here's a flank from Orconero as he goes tier 2. Banishment chucked in. Interceptors already off the field, you may have spotted earlier. Here comes the Warp Rift to slow down these guys. CSM able to deliver some damage though. Strat Squad couldn't take on the double CSM with other CSM shooting them. Now the Interceptors join up. There's a lot of stuff here for them to fight. Just wading into melee. Retreating units taking 30% more damage from melee attacks, which is why they were forcing some melee on them there, knowing they'd have to retreat soon. Raptors jumping the heavy weapon squad. What a difference these Raptors have made already. Catachans disrupt them. Maybe buying these guys a retreat there. They may have not got away without that. Raptors continue to kick some ass. They've hit level 2 already. Now they retreat, soaking up some really good damage as they delivered some damage there. On the power still is Triumph. Heretics with the Aspiring Champion. This is SchmusCriminal CSM here. Heretics are also SchmusCriminal, I believe. Yep. 387 to 381. An aggressive end to tier 1 for the Chaos fellas. Couldn't quite finish off that generator, I guess. Oh, Noise Marines are here. But they don't want to approach and get out of position. Interceptors have their Justicar already. And the Strat Squad are getting their Justicar. He gets a power weapon. Speaking of melee weapons though, Plague Champion of Triumph. Still level 1, but there's level 2 and he's got a Plague Fist with the Icon of Nurgle on the way. Plague Fist is a heavy melee weapon, could damage all targets. And has the awesome Pestilent Strike, which is already used there. Is he going to go down though? Noxious Cloud chucked onto the garrison. He did indeed go down. Global ability of the Plague Champion. He can actually control this cloud and move it around, but he doesn't seem to be doing that. Ouch. That was Inferno from the Force Glaive. What does it do again? Damage and knockback. Doesn't say how much damage though. Also gives him more melee skill and more hit points, of course, since it turns him into a melee hero. SchmusCriminal's also got a Plague Fist. And some Bloodletters in there from BuCkLuvy. Demons with power weapon Hellblades. Super high damage squad. And good mobility with the teleport. Chosen Plague Marines on the field for SchmusCriminal. Not so good with the mobility, but they have a big bucket hit points and good health regen. And some decent tricks they can do. With those damage over time knives. Stormboy's up for EM7. Jumping around the knob leader there, stunning targets because he's a big boy, but now they have to retreat through those chosen Plague Marines. These chosen Plague Marines passively damage nearby enemies, and they can create some zombies too. SchmusCriminal now getting Icon of Nurgle. So we're going to see double Icon of Nurgle Plague Champions with the passive damage also of the chosen Plague Marines. Might be too much for those guardsmen to handle. They need to stay the hell away from all this melee stuff. The mid stays red. Good pressure from the Chaos fellas. They're keeping it up. Raptors have an aspiring champion now. Not jumping in yet. There's the jump. Oh, if they jumped a little bit further, they would have suppressed all those guardsmen. They've drawn out the strike squad, though. There's some Nurgle worship to help them out. Can they land the demonic strength thing? Doesn't seem like they have the energy to throw it out. Maybe they did already. From the maul, they can like hit a single model for big damage and knock them flying. Map looking very red at the moment. Can the blue team claw their way back into this? You have some plasma guardsmen. They'll be delivering some really good damage to all this heavy infantry here. Double plasma guardsmen actually. And they get in their commissars so they can execute for even more damage and break retreats and stuff. No, his execute doesn't give them damage, does it? Level 2 Stormboys mixing it up. Able to get in on the Havocs. And they killed that guy so fast. But the other fellas get away. Plague Champion comes to say hello maybe. Level 2 for SchmusCriminal. Does not have an armor upgrade. Unlike this guy that has the Armor of Pestilence. Runs away. Is he going to be alright? Down to 35 hit points. And he is indeed alright. There's some Bloodletters for BuCkLuvy. And looks like we have the Chains of Torment from the Robes of Torment. You can tell because the Sorcerer has that grenade icon. Big stomp from the Cyborg implants. And Boss Pole is in for the Warboss. And it does impress the Guardsmen as well. Pestilent Strike, stunning this stuff. And providing huge damage resistance. 90%, kind of nuts. There's a Chains of Torment. Need to try and shoot this central mass to break it. But they are not doing so at the moment. I guess I didn't feel that threatened by the chains. I was expecting the dark flames to come in there, but it didn't. Bloodletter's getting a bit low. Blue team retake the mid. A good counter push by them, has to be said. 249 to 369. Map in general looking a bit more blue now, is it? These guys decapping the Chaos fellas natural as well. There is a Chaos Dreadnought up. I haven't seen any of it. It's been on the southeast side the whole time from BuCkLuvy. Tier 3 for Schmus. Tier 3 for Orconero. Lord General now has melter guns. Derek and Nigel, his Stormtrooper friends, also get melter guns, so they're pleased with it. And it's got stabilizers up too. With some health regen bonuses. Which you see in effect now. These green hexagons. Triple cap all of a sudden for the blue team. But they have been driven off the mid. And now both the Plague Champions are ready to go with Armor of Pestilence, level 3, Icon of Nurgle, and the Plague Fist. Meanwhile, the Sorcerer, level 4. Those Plague Champions should level up quite quickly now that they have Icon of Nurgle in. Powerclaw Warboss now in play. We got some tank busters to threaten the Chaos Dreadnought. Some late heretics for SchmusCriminal. I guess he lost his along the way somewhere. Replaces them. Caps up the mid and they're straight on the power. The blue team were not able to get onto the power of the red team. I don't know if they've hit this one. I don't think they touched the one through the mid. Warboss here with the big stomp. And those guys didn't even want to stick around. They just ran away. Bloodletter's getting counter-initiated by sluggers running away. Stormboys jumping in. Now they're chasing down the Dreadnought. It will have minor melee resistance in this loadout, reducing damage by 20% in melee. Raptor's here to help out. Warboss goes on to some Havocs. Still chasing them down. Dreadnought's okay. 222 to 295 on the VPs. Power bashing sluggers now. Oh, that's a big flank from Triumph, rotating across to the south. Can they wipe the sluggers? Not quite. Wasn't quite able to wipe them. 210 to 295. When you are in that situation, when you have Chaos Space Marines on retreat path, and you are the Chaos player, you want to have them stand still, shoot as much as possible with full accuracy, and then when the enemy gets close, you switch them to melee, get a few hits, and then switch straight back to shooting as much as possible without moving, so you get full accuracy, and that's how you deliver the most damage. Not easy to execute perfectly in the midst of battle, though. You don't want to spend time like chasing in melee, shooting inaccurately is the idea. Got a Zinc Shrine. This is shooting out Doom Bolts. Although I think the Daemonhunter over there is a bit too far away. Always got the Tempest up though. Changing Rift Tear into Tempest. I kept calling it Warp Rift, I think. This thing slows you down, then it silences you, and then it does some damage. As long as you channel it for long enough, that is. Kicking off in the mid with a big old fight. We've got some Chaos Terminators here. The Sorcerer capping. Warboss shows up with a bunch of boys. Mostly Dakar boys. Storm boys hanging back for now. Here come the chosen Plague Marines. Are the Storm boys going to engage them? Not yet, apparently. There's Nurgle's Rot to try and get some zombies. Okay, now they're engaging. Chosen Plague Marines exploding on death. Healing themselves and damaging enemies nearby. There's a zombie Stormboy there. Zombies deal 50% less damage, I believe, but they do retain their abilities, so you could like jump that Stormboy around. 191 to 295 on the VPs. What are these Raptors up to? Oh, they're chasing a Manticore. Went too far for them though. The Force Glaive is a power weapon. Is it like 70 odd? Yeah, 71 power melee DPS, and that's with a level 1 Daemonhunter. It's quite a dangerous weapon. 178 to 295. Power bashing again from the Chaos fellas. They're able to get on this power in a flash, aren't they? Dreadnought's having a go. Level 2. The Chaos Terminators, by the way, off from Triumph. Orconero needs to get something out in tier 3. Did not have any other unit. Could drop a nuke. In fact, everyone on the blue team can drop a nuke. Well, once the King of Pythons gets to tier 3 anyway. 160 to 295. Can the red team hold the mid? They overextended a bit on that power push maybe. Big retreat there. Big retreat usually means you lose ground. This Zinchian Shrine, by the way, also providing some damage resistance, but only to AP BuCkLuvy's units. I believe it's 10% per and it stacks up. I think it only stacks 3 times though. To 30%, which is not bad at all. Down goes a Sorcerer, level 5, shot in the face by a Heavy Bolter. Will do it. And CSM in a bad spot. Impact Grenade, oh, beautifully timed and placed. Just knew they were going to retreat there. Warboss level 4, trying to face tank Havocs, couldn't quite do it. These fellas with an autocannon, by the way, the Terminators. Dark Flames chucked in. Global ability of the Sorcerer. Bad news for those Orks. Gets them off the mid. No cap in the mid. So a 1-to-1. 138, 295. Plague Champion trying to have a go from SchmusCriminal. Face tanking that suppressing Heavy Bolter. Throws up the Pestilent Strike. Aura of Decay knocks those fellas back. And now has to fight the Strat Squad. He's got quite low here. Gonna go down, I think. Yeah, we're still chasing those fellas. And they all had the fight harder thing. Just yells, fight harder, and they start shooting more effectively. Very good motivator, the Lord General. Looks like the Chaos fellas are going to take the mid, but they've lost their natural look. Sneaky Stormtrooper's doing some good work down here. It might be that SchmusCriminal needs to keep something down on this VP now, because their VPs are getting dangerously close to like sub 250-ish, where you need to really worry about those natural decaps. What would you leave there, though? I mean, melee heretics would do it. They might eat an impact grenade, but they should be able to get themselves up and fight pretty well. There's some Nurgle worship. Sneaky Catechins taking some heavy cover. But now the assist comes in from Chaos Terminators, killing some Catechins. You see that demoralization effect when they get kills, stacking up there, debuffing the remaining Catechins. 129 to 254 on the VPs. Another Tzeentchian Shrine. Is that the third one we've seen? I think 2 went down, and this is another Tzeentchian Shrine. And a third going up. If you worship them, the bolts fire out faster. I'm not sure how faster, but it must be significantly faster to be there from the worship. Gonna get a Nurgle Shrine as well. And here is the Land Raider Phobos from AP BuCkLuvy. The Dreadnought's still going, by the way, in the mid here. Psy Cannons coming in from the Interceptors, anti-everything damage. And there's a Vortimer Razorback too with a Psy Cannon on it. Meanwhile, massive fight in the mid all of a sudden. Some Manticore strikes on the Land Raider. Here comes an orbital bombardment from Orconero. Tempest thrown in. Absolute carnage. That shrine is gone. Another shrine gone. I think that was a Nurgle Shrine. That was another Nurgle Shrine back there now. Those Nurgle Shrines allow you to reinforce if it gets worshipped. Also heals you and suppresses enemies if they get close. That gives the red team some good presence out here, which they don't normally get. They can't typically reinforce in the field very easily. Only the Nurgle Shrine and the Sorcerer's Demonic Circle can help you reinforce. That was an awesome fight. Vortimer may go down here. Does go down. Melter Bomb from the Melter Raptors gets it done. And no cap in the mid. What are the Terminators doing so close? Got saved by the Sorcerer, because the Knob Squad were going to mess them up there. Chains of Torment helped them out. Now they're fighting a Plague Champion. Chosen Plague Marines getting very low. Oh no, they aren't. That was some CSM. Mark of Zinc CSM in there. Chosen Plague Marines now run. Knob Squad soaking up huge amounts of damage, but they're also going to need to run here. I think they wiped. A Rocks was chucked in. Absolute mayhem. Meanwhile, those Stormtroopers, I imagine, are still getting capping done. Yep, they are. Look at that. They did not leave anything there yet. Level 7. Lord General going to get revived. Warboss level 5. Oh, he got knocked off the revive there by the grenade launchers and needs to get back to it. Strat Squad running in, trying to create some space for the cap. Not sure why the Terminators are backing off there, just fight them. Tempest chucked in, takes down the Shrine on its final stage of damage here. Dreadnought still going, level 3 Dreadnought still going. Oh, he's taking las cannon shots though now. Fight harder, I should say. Making a las cannon shoot more often. That's pretty good. 80 to 196 on the VPs. Chains of Torment again chucked in, and there's the Plague Champion of Triumph, now level 7. Doesn't go for the VP. Needs to try and clear some stuff out. Down goes the Warboss. Plague Champion not able to reach those guys in the back line. Daemonhunter diving in for those Chaos Terminators, able to teleport away from him. Phobos still alive. Getting a bunch of repairs from some heretics and stuff. Plague Champions can repair. They should help out here. Oh, but SchmusCriminal's down. We saw Triumph run away. Is Orconero Oh, Orconero had a Vortimer Razorback, didn't he? I was going to say, is he getting units? I'm not noticing him. I did notice the Vortimer. I'm not sure what happened to it. I guess it went down in a big brouhaha. There's a bunker. Medical bunker there. Many plasma guns. And he got knocked off the decat. Oh, this fella stayed. They got the decat and they need to run. SchmusCriminal. There we go. They have run off. These guys can't really threaten them in melee, so they should be okay. Meanwhile, it's a strike squad this time, decapping the natural VP of the red team. They don't seem to be worried about this getting decapped at all. Oh, these guys are going to wipe. CSM wiped. It might be the blue team that need to defend their VP as well. They are lower on the VPs after all, although they have a double at the moment. Trying to stabilize on the mid. The King of Pythons with a heavy weapon squad. I was going to say maybe he's going to save up for a super heavy tank now, but nope. Heavy weapon squad coming in. And it's certainly not a bad choice to stick one on this central location. Stick another one, he's got one already. Plague Champion on capping duty using that Pestilent Strike to help him cap. Dreadnought getting low. There's some Tzeentchian worship though to help it out a bit. We do have a Nurgle Shrine, but it's not being worshipped. In fact, these heretics are diving in from SchmusCriminal. And yes, you can worship allied shrines, even if you're not the same hero. And you get the benefits. Warboss having a go at some regular Plague Marines in here from BuCkLuvy. But down he goes, shot to death. And those Plague Marines continue to cap. Going to take out the bunker. They do take the bunker out. Those fellas barely got out in time. They would have been wiped if they were inside of it. Look at all this demoralization here. Huge stacks of it. Huge stacks of it. And the Dark Flames. Nasty, nasty stuff. Because those demoralization stacks mean that you take more damage as well. It doesn't just lower your damage, it means you take more damage. So that Dark Flames was in a really spiteful location. 71 to 120. Chaos with a 2-to-1 cap. That seemed like a pretty devastating fight actually, although I'm not sure if Pythons actually lost any squads. Anticore threatening the Land Raider. Plague Champion revives Plague Champion. Almost level 9 now, Triumph. Schmooze is level 5. The Sorcerer level 6. Speaking of Land Raiders, here's the Land Raider Crusader with Hurricane Bolters on the side sponson. Twin linked assault cannon and a multi-melter on top. Can also reinforce off this guy. So should be some nice field presence, although double Terminators with autocannons can threaten it. So can the Phobos, of course, with those big old las cannons. And there's more Terminators back here. Purgation. Might see these fellas get their conversion beamer. Trying to hit the mid now. Weird Boy on the field for EM7. I think that's a good late purchase actually. Very effective against enemy infantry, and there's a lot of it on the red team. Can mess up the double Terminators maybe. Gonna see Mark of Tzeentch now on the Dreadnought to try and fight that Land Raider. It's a level 4 Dreadnought too. Foot of Gork coming in from the Weird Boy. Big boom and a stun into a rocket run. Beautifully done by the blue team. Some really good hits. I don't think they dropped a model though, the Terminators. Smoke is popped to try and help the Daemonhunter there. From the Catachans, I think. Phobos still getting repairs. Down goes the Dreadnought. He just got his rocket launcher as well. He's not happy. 36 to 120 after the madness has died down a bit. Here comes a Leman Russ for the King of Pythons, and that will certainly threaten the Land Raider. But do you get Executioner to mess up these Terminators? Because these Terminators are a big fat problem at the moment for the blue team. They just won't go down. Some Nurgle worship supporting them. There's a Nurgle Shrine back here supporting them. Oh! Imperial Abyss dropped in. Doom Bolts as well flying in there. Die, says SchmusCriminal. 36 to 120. Seems like it was a pretty good nuke. Neiman Russ is up. I don't see any action on the natural VPs at the moment. Interceptors coming in from an angle, but they cannot outshoot those Terminators. More Chains of Torment as well. There's that Leman Russ. Gone for the Vanquisher. Amazing at taking out large targets from long range. It's not going to reliably hit Terminators, but it will certainly hit that Phobos every time. Lord General getting some melter action on those Terminators, although Derek back there needs to wake up. He wasn't firing. Tempest. Demonic Shield is in there now. 22 to 120. Have the red team done enough? Have they done enough? Just can't get forward, the blue team here. Red team do have something sitting on their natural as well. Dirgecaster goes off. Level 7 Warboss just takes so much damage so quickly there. Looks like it's game over. Indeed it is. And the red Chaos team take it. He had a level 7 Demon Hunter clinging to life, heroically fighting some Terminators at the end there. Level 8 Lord General. Level 7 Warboss. The Plague Champions were 5 and 9. And the Sorcerer level 7. Well, there you have it, guys. Awesome game. Some massive fights in the mid. I'm sure I missed a ton of stuff, but there you have it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see ya next time.